Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Israel Hendricks, Program Officer with Serve New Mexico. We have Kristen and Ishmael as well from Serve New Mexico. So for all of you that are attending, I do appreciate it. I know it's probably a little busy. It's going to be a busy week, but this Lunch and Learn, we're going to go ahead and cover mid-year check-ins. All right. Now, part of what we're going to be doing with programs is not only covering expectations and sort of getting level set for the remainder of this program year, but I will send out a survey. The programs are going to be expected to access the survey, complete it no later than Friday, March the 27th. So it'll be this Friday that we expect everyone to have a chance to submit their responses. We're going to go over a couple of things as far as expectations for the mid-year survey. One of those will be performance indicators, things like enrollment, retention, exits. So far, all of you have done a fantastic job of letting us know when we have early exits and communicating those changes to us. I know one of the difficult things that we encounter during the year is going to be retention, obviously, and getting the enrollments where they need to be. We're also going to cover performance measures, things like outputs, outcomes, meeting goals, whatever your current challenges are, strategies for meeting those challenges, and then any improvements that you may have. Would definitely want to gather that information. And this is really meant to see and get a pulse check on where you all are at this point, halfway through the program year. Um, it wasn't that long ago that I was asking for folks to submit their PPR data, and really that's just information that lets AmeriCorps know, are you meeting the outcomes and outputs that you expected to set out during your application phase. Um, Probably don't need to go into great detail on that, but it really is meant to say, all right, we're halfway through our program year. Are you ensuring that you're collecting the data for this new program year? How are you doing? Are you meeting any of those objectives? And then if not, what are you doing to make sure that you're successful? Um, Part of that will also cover things like the narrative, and if you have any recruitment strategies, please make sure that you have them in place, that you're actually using them, and providing like what those outcomes are looking like for your year. Also, any feedback that you have about Serve New Mexico's policies, processes, or programming. Our job at the end of the day is not just to provide oversight and leave you no support. We want to make sure that we're providing feedback, that we are in a position that we're helping you. So if there are any things, or any things that you have feedback on, that you're sharing that with us so we can do better. Okay, so collecting program year data, how are you doing, right? Are you meeting your targets? Are you tracking data? I certainly hope that by now that you are tracking data since we are halfway through the year, but if you're not, um, definitely coming up with a strategy that ensures that at the end of this year, you're able to submit the data that we require you to provide for AmeriCorps. Are you meeting your performance measures? Again, things that you set out to accomplish within your application. Are you setting out the things that you said you were going to do, right? And of course, matching the data to your application. So please reference your application. It'll be very important that the data that you're collecting actually matches what you set out to. Expenditure plan. This is going to be also very important. One of the things that I've been learning here in my new role is throughout the year, there are some challenges that are experienced with drawing down and having an expenditure plan in place. So some of the obvious questions to ask yourself at this point is, what are you doing in your program year to make sure that that happens? What are you doing to address those unused funds at this point? And if I'm going too fast, please let me know. Mid-year member check-in. So as you know, full-time members should have, or they're required actually, to have mid-year evaluations. But the Service Commission is recommending that you not only do it for your full-time members, but that you also encompass like the service members that are at least at reduced halftime or serving more than reduced halftime. And what that does is it gets you in the practice and gets you that experience with sitting down with them, but also holistically. People that are providing service want to know how they're doing. You may or may not be sharing your feedback with your service members. I'm sure you see them day to day. You're having interaction, excuse me. You're engaging with them, but sometimes they like to hear, or have a sit down that this is how you're doing. This is how we, think that you're doing. This is how you're progressing. If you have certain challenges that you've made with them, if they're meeting the challenges and if they're excelling, or basically even moments where you can share strategies for their growth, right? It's not just about showing up and doing the hours, but talking to them about what does it look like when you're done with service? What kind of career paths did you have in mind? You might have had that conversation early on when you signed them up or when you selected them, but it always helps to have like a mid-year pulse check with them to see, has anything changed? Is there something else that we can help you with in your journey through this early career choice? Um, for those of you that have education programs, are your members able to complete their hours? We know that in particular those with an education based program, things ramp up more in the summer than at other times, and you may want to have a contingency plan in place, especially if you bring in a good deal of your folks during the late spring, early summer. Um, in addition, member service agreements, like any amendments. We've recently rolled out in the middle of this program year a new form that at least captures any changes to the member service agreements. And we did this just by necessity, one, obviously, but two, what we find is sometimes members get put into new roles or they have to shift in the number of hours that they're going to dedicate towards service, or maybe there's a change in their position description. Use that MSA, what I refer to as the MSA amendment. And this is a great way to track that change, because if you're not documenting that, if there's ever any follow-up oversight that we are either the Serve New Mexico Commission is going to do or AmeriCorps is going to do, it's going to be helpful to track those types of changes, especially because the amendment provides more of a high-level way of documenting this. Okay. Lastly, just want to make sure we remind folks about slot conversions and enrollments. I know the three of you that are on this call now have already submitted slot conversions. You should be considering whether there are any enrollment changes. And just as a reminder, yes, Christian, I see your hand is up.
Yeah, I did request. I reached out to Jolene, but I haven't heard anything. So she made the slot conversions for one of our full times, but the other one didn't go through yet. So I got two members that were all cleared to go by the 20th, but the system is still saying I have a full time one, so I'm not able to get them in.
Okay. Yeah, although Jolene is out of the office today, I will make sure that she follows up, that we have a chance to follow up with that and get back to you. So thank you
Okay.
for
Sounds good.
raising
But
that.
yeah, they're all ready to go. Like they've passed everything. They're in e-grants. I just gotta hit the enroll button.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, and if I'm able to help out with that, I'll certainly do so after this call. If not, we'll circle back at the latest tomorrow by end of day if that works for you.
So yeah, that's good. Thank you.
Perfect. Okay, let me get back on track. So, yes, slot conversions are allowed. They do need to go through Serve New Mexico first prior to making any changes within e-grants. Just understand that we certainly have certain hard and fast rules. The changes cannot result in a full-time position. They cannot increase the total MSYs that you're authorized through your award, and they can't increase the aggregate value of your education award as well. If any of you have questions about the types of changes that you like to do, I'm certainly available to have those discussions with you. We can play around with the numbers if we need to, if there's something that we can help out with that. But at the end of the day, if you have questions, just please reach out to me first. Enrollment deadlines, we've already uh, passed the halftime enrollment deadline. So, and I have checked today to see if anybody has new members that they've been enrolling. Please keep in mind, I am monitoring that periodically, probably more periodically than you may know. So I am tracking member enrollments. I am tracking new members. I'm also tracking exits. So, but all of you have done a really great job of letting us know in advance or soon after someone gets exited early of those. And I do want to say thank you for doing that. Next enrollment deadline is going to be May the 4th. And that, yes, May the 4th be with you. Reduced halftime slots are going to have their deadlines at that time. But I think a lot of you that were planning to do halftime or slots that were less than halftime have been starting to ramp those up. And I'm seeing an uptick from a lot of you. So keep up the good work, especially if you're still struggling to fill those slots. Let's see, I think that brings us to the end of our mid-year check-in as far as the training goes. Do any of you have questions?
So something
All right.
just to note for those of you that are education programs, something that we started last year was that we have it in our policies now that you do a check-in with your members regardless of the slot type that they're in, because we were seeing so many of the members not being able to complete their service on time because of the school year, because of delays, things of that nature. So if you just keep that in mind as we're going through the rest of this program year, that we add a little buffer in case folks need to make up hours or things of that nature. But for all of our programs, all of our members, it is good to make sure that they are on track, or at least be documenting that at this point in time they were on track. And then if something happens later on, that helps us when we start reviewing requests for early exits or for CPCs or things of that nature. It's good for us to be able to go back and show the check-ins that were done with the programs.